In the early 2000s, after the 9/11 attacks, foreign tourists from Europe and America flooded into Thailand, seeking peace and paradise. That was when Mr. Jack decided to leave his music career behind and open his own bar and restaurant on a southern island filled with travelers. Finding a location proved difficult until he stumbled upon an old 2-story wooden house that had once been a restaurant. It was run down and oddly painted, the floors mismatched and warped. He hated it at first sight, until the owner, Mr. Wood, made an irresistible offer, a full-year lease, for only about $3,000. Mr. Wood was leaving for a year abroad, and the rent was cheap enough for Jack to take the risk. The house had 3 levels. Beside it were 3 adjoining rooms, 1 kitchen, and 2 small storage quarters. A giant tamarind tree grew behind the house, its branches holding an old wooden treehouse. The second floor was open and airy, while the third was the strangest, a high, swaying loft lined with thin wooden planks. There was a mattress, a mosquito net, and some personal belongings, but Jack swore he'd never sleep up there. The height made him dizzy. 2 months passed. The bar opened, tourists came, the business flourished. Then, one quiet night, something changed. Jack went to bed early, preparing for a big party the next day. Around 11 p.m., he felt something drip on his face through the mosquito net, like water. Thinking it was rain leaking through the roof, he moved his mattress. But minutes later, another droplet hit the net above him. He looked up. Through the dim light, the fabric sagged downward slightly, as if something pressed against it from above. He squinted. The shape became clearer. A face. A pale, distorted face pushing into the net. He instinctively swung his arm upward. The pressure vanished. Silence filled the air. He didn't sweep again that night. From that day, Jack avoided the 3rd floor completely. Even tourists who snuck up there always ran down, pale-faced, refusing to speak about what they'd seen. Then came Songkran Festival, the Thai New Year, and peak season. Jack's friends, Miss Koi, Miss Noon, and Mr. Man, surprised him with an unannounced visit. He arranged rooms for them near the treehouse next door. That night, the 4 of them played cards on the 2nd floor. Jack sat facing the staircase that led up to the 3rd floor. Halfway through the game, Koi grabbed his wrist tightly. "Jack, take me to the bathroom," she whispered. The bathroom was just a few steps away, but her grip trembled. Jack could tell she'd seen something. They went downstairs. Once outside, Koi burst into tears. "Who's up there?" she sobbed. "Someone standing on the 3rd floor." Jack tried to reassure her that no one ever went up there, but then Noon came running down too. She confessed that she and Koi had both seen a head, just a head, leaning over from the 3rd floor, watching them through the shadows. It looked like a figure wrapped in a cloth, faceless, motionless. Jack's employees refused to go upstairs. "You know there's something up there," one foreign staff member muttered, shaking his head. Then came Mr. Palm, a friend who arrived late that night. Hearing the commotion, he scoffed at the ghost stories and insisted on checking for himself. Ignoring Jack's warning, he climbed the stairs. When his head reached the level of the 3rd floor, he screamed. Moments later, his body crashed down the stairs. They revived him downstairs. When he came to, his voice shook. I saw something dripping through the floorboards. At first, I thought it was black water, but when I looked closer, he paused, trembling. It was a head. It fell. Then the whole body fell after it. He fainted again. Weeks later, a British bartender from a nearby bar, Mr. Dade, came to stay the night before leaving the island. He told Jack what the locals already knew. A British man named Mr. Ian once lived in that house. He ran a small business with his Thai wife until she betrayed him, stole everything, and fled. Heartbroken, Ian hanged himself on the 3rd floor. But before he did, he wrapped himself tightly in a gray blanket, binding his arms and legs, covering his head entirely. So when his body was found, it looked like a bundle suspended in mid-air. When Mr. Watt returned from the mainland, Ian's body had been decomposing for days. His head separated from his body when touched. Watt took down the chandelier where the rope had hung and installed it elsewhere to hide the memory. But the memory stayed. Even after knowing the truth, Jack kept the lease. The house made money, and the ghost seemed content, as long as no one disturbed the 3rd floor. Yet the curse continued. Years later, the same wooden beam Ian used to hang himself was reused in a newly built home nearby. Someone else died there, the exact same way. Some say Ian's spirit never left. Wrapped in his blanket, eyes hollow, he still leans over the edge of that 3rd floor, repeating the final moment of his despair, again and again. If you enjoyed this true Thai horror story, subscribe to Tale After Dark for more chilling tales every week.